All right, pretty sure we're live. Getting the tweet out right now. Let me just finish all this stuff, and then we'll be all good to go, and we can start talking about this race. I am very, very, very excited about this slate. I think it's going to be very fun. I don't remember the name of the race. Just put DraftKings, call it a day. There we go. Let me make sure that's tweeted out. Let's man, do I want to rant a bit to give time to people to join? I don't think I am. But the 12 of you guys here waiting for me to start, I do appreciate it. And man, I don't like the shadow. It looks like I'm just losing hair. Let's start breaking down this race, shall we? Let me bring my sheets up. We're over here on my right screen. All right, let me get that. All right, so this is a pretty fun. This is a really fun slate. I am really enjoying building lines for this. My player pool is extremely big right now. I've ownership spread out by a lot of drivers. I think I have like 19 or 20 drivers in the pool right now, and it's more so just trying to get the lap leader. Okay, I would lean towards Briscoe leading at least 50 laps in this race, right off the bat. At every short track race we've been at this year, the pole sitter has led some laps. They normally lead the first part of the race. I don't know if it's going to be that much from Briscoe, just because when we look back at the other grids, like, yeah, sure, he has Bell and Reddick behind him and Blaney, but I am concerned that Briscoe loses the lead after like 40 laps or something, just due to a yellow or whatever. But I do have quite a bit of Briscoe on both sides. I am playing I typically like the short tracks of FanDuel as well, so I'm doing 10 lines there. So if you want to ask about more FanDuel questions than usual today, feel free to ask. So I am just going to try and answer, real like gun to my head who I really, really like, just because the pool is so massive. Otherwise, I would just be like, well, I'm kind of playing everybody today. And so the guys that I really like today are Logano, Chastain, and Elliott. I really, really like Chase Elliott today. He's probably my favorite play that I don't think is going to be that highly owned. I also do like Byron, aiming for, and I don't necessarily think that we're gonna have a ton of lap leaders today, unless we just constantly keep getting yellows and yellows, or the leader, which has happened quite a lot this year, has the first lap leaders run into trouble, either a flat tire, or get involved in a wreck. But I think this is really going to be a two leader race. I'm still going to try and spend at least 4 positions on my lines trying to nail those 2 leaders, because if I can get the 2 guys there, I think we're going to be fine in terms of cashing. So for me, I think pit road is going to be huge today, especially. I think this is a segment that we do need to talk about, because we did see the trucks have live pit stops there for the first time, because they've normally been independent weekends, so they haven't had live pit stops there. God, Bob, I wish your writing was a bit better, Bob. Okay, here we go. I think we really do need to take a gander and take a look at the pit selection. And I know this is going to be boring for some people. You might be like, man, what are we doing here? But I actually should have done this before. Let me look real quick. Hold on. I have an idea. This is kind of live off the cuff. I know we'll get to questions in a second. I want to just look at the averages and plot the averages along this pit road. This might be a bit lengthy, but look, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8:40 in the morning. We're trying to let people join and everything and get in here. So I want to rank the averages on pit road and look at how difficult certain places are, because look, I know it's boring to go over pit data. I know it's excruciatingly painful to look at pit data, but the short tracks this year have been dictated by pit road. That's just how it is. It's been that unfun, and strategy. Like Richmond did go green, and so pit road strategy played into it. So it wasn't necessarily who was the fastest on pit road, but who short pitted. But pit road is playing a huge um, thing here. Where are my pit stops at? Let me save this image. We're gonna do it. I'll just throw it in Google Docs, not Google Docs. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Actually, hold on. Because I think this might be a really good thing to do here. Let me go to Drive, and why I do this. So the reason I'm doing this is because this pit road is going to be extremely tight, and we ran into issues yesterday where, like, Haley Deegan got trapped behind people, where people couldn't get out of the pit road, and so let me. I need to. I'm gonna open up one of my other Gmails to do this. And so I want to rank not only where these guys are, where they've chosen their pit selections, but I also want to line it up with where these guys are on average. Just a straight average right now, not necessarily leaning more towards one race or the other, but who is having the best average ranking. I think that's really what we want to go on, and it's why I'm so. Of course, Google Drives is going to crash on me. And that's why I am Google Drawings. That's why I'm so high on Elliott today. Because just like last week, I think Elliott gets the lead on pit road at some point in this race. I really do. Like, I think Elliott is a contender to win this race, 100%. More than Byron. I think more than Chastain. God, dude, this is taking forever. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm an idiot. Here, let me just open up paint.net. I'll just run through that. Here, we'll answer questions as I'm goofing around with this. Where are we at? Where's the chat at? Good morning. Thank you for joining me. I saw your comment early, back when I was making sure everything was all set up. Same thing with you, Clutch. Thank you for being here. Jesse Wuji is a god among men. That is fantastic. Good morning, Big. I love that you're here. Thank you very much, Matthew. Dylan Jones, Big. If you're talking Eric Jones, I love Eric Jones. I don't mind Keselowski. Austin Dillon, I'm concerned he doesn't hit value. I have no concerns about AJ. Man, that's terrible. You should really find a better relationship. Let's see. Good morning. Let's see. Single entry. Man, you just jumped right in, which I respect, Matthew. You're just jumping right in. I would go with Bowman and Gill in there. I think Hamlin is fine as well. Let's see. Is paint.net open here? Let's find boys. Expand the canvas. Let's dig. Let's go. All right, cool. We're here. Let's rank these bad boys. Make sure I don't accidentally move that. Okay, cool. All right, so we're here. We are here at Gateway. We're gonna do this pretty ugly, but I think it's gonna be fine. I just want to do this real quick for my own self, and I thought it might be helpful. Let me just make sure. Yeah, this will be fine. We'll do it in purple. All right, so let's rank Pitt. Let's just like I said, we're doing averages. I'm not gonna because I think, and we can. I mean, we can look if we're looking at thin pit roads: Charlotte, Dover, Martinsville. I could take those three. Although Phoenix has, but I don't want to weigh. I don't want to weigh ones that are longer than the other ones. So if we're Phoenix might be one of the most comparable tracks because you're turning left for so long. Maybe even Richmond too, but it's not as small. Let's see. Do I do small? Mm, we're gonna screw it. We're gonna keep it on average. All right. So let's see this here. I think it's gonna be easier if I go from the back to the front versus. Um, I apologize. Ooh, that's gonna be, I'm just gonna go back and forth here. Ellen actually has some nice times on pit selections here. And granted, this is just average. I'm not weighing any specific race. I just want to do this for a for my own brain to see where these guys are at because I'm very curious about this. Wow, riveting morning. It's like a Bob Ross morning, but instead of painting trees, we're just painting um, ranking people. I think we might actually see something on here that we may be overlooking. Now, Grant, like, see, this is the issue coming from averages because Bubba has gotten significant. Like Kansas and Charlotte, the team did not fuck. Actually, Charlotte team didn't fuck him over. But he's ranked 30th. But I think we could just keep that in the back of our mind that last week was better than that. I think anybody with a empty pit stop in front of them is going to have a gigantic advantage today, which is yet again, I mean, why that's why these people choose them. Same thing. I mean, anybody who, I mean, clearly, the good teams and the guys who qualify up front are choosing positions that have, nothing either in front of them or behind them. But I would give I think I would give it to the ones with nobody in front of them. I think that's what I would do. We use Hemrick's data for this one. I'm sorry. I will get back to the chat, but I am wildly curious about this right now. So, like I said, I really do apologize. I probably should have done this before. I should have done this last night, but I don't know why this just popped into my brain, and I don't want to do it now. Feel free to drop comments. I'll get to them as soon as I'm finished here. And maybe as I'm going through this, you can see where and every team is on average wise. That's terrible too. Yeah, I'm almost frustrated by how much I didn't think about this because like if I'm like, look, man, pit road times are going to be gigantic. Here, this is a situation where Hamlin has average wise, he's ranked 28th, but he has 11 top 10 pit stops, 18 top 20 pit stops in these races. It's been a back and forth. I'm gonna bounce him up. He's ranked 28th, but I am gonna bounce him up and make him 10th for this, because I don't want to just absolutely crucify the guy. Actually, well, I can just make a note of that. So we'll just say 28th then. Custer takes a good pit stop away from people due to the qualifying effort. That's huge. Dylan is going to be trapped between. He's going to have a tough time getting out. I can already see things starting to appear. Yeah. Dylan has had some dummy thick and dummy fast pit stops. Man, he is averaging third. That is quite crazy. I think a lot of those did come from the Martinsville race. Who's in the 20? Bell. 12. I know, just absolutely riveting content. Okay, as I do this, because I'm not looking at chat, let's talk about Hocevar really quick. If we got to sacrifice Hocevar to who the hell's in the 50? Oh, it's Ware. If we got to sacrifice Cody Ware, let's do it. Because that was wild. Poor bastard has his ankle crushed. First off, it's his fault because he's just an idiot. Hocevar is terrible. But man, what a big lull from the safety crew hopping over there and taking 4 days to walk over to him. That's why I'm like, dude, like, yeah, sure, it might be demented, but I'm honest to God curious. What happens when somebody? Why is BJ not on this? Oh, I typed it wrong. I am honest to God curious. How bad? People could legit get injured and die. Like I would, like Busher last at the Coca-Cola 600. NASCAR does not have a procedure to flip cars over. They said it themselves. They said we haven't even tested flipping these cars back over. And so, yeah, sure, Busher wasn't injured, but man, he was trapped. What if he's on fire? If Busher's upside down on fire, he's fucking dead, man. He's dead. There is no getting Busher out of that upside down car if he is on fire. What is up with this? This is Keselowski he has better. Maybe that's why maybe I should have ranked the averages at this point. Who did I move? Was it Hamlin? Hamlin was going back. Hamlin was 28th. Where is he at over here? Yeah, it's still there. Okay. Fuck it. I'll just keep using that. Or like Hocevar, And of course, fires don't happen a lot, unfortunately. But man, he's stuck between the brake pedal and the clutch, and that safety crew fucking did not give a single shit about him at all. And I'm telling you, man, we're getting closer and closer, and I'm like salivating. I'm waiting. I am absolutely waiting over here for somebody to just get absolutely injured and NASCAR to not care at all or die. Like today, what NASCAR? What happened to? We will never race at a track that does not have safer barriers installed. We got a whole inside wall today down the back straightaway. And these guys are going to get stupid. We've seen it before. All it takes somebody to get hooked, or somebody hits the wall and has no control and just bam, head on to a concrete wall. Today we got a really good chance of that, so that'd be nice. 30th, which I think that is going to help him out a lot. And yet again, so now I'm getting to the end of this. This is banked. I'm doing this mainly because I've been looking over the data for like weeks now. Let me just actually I don't need to save it. Actually, take this off because I don't know what is going to show up real quick. But I just save this here. Entitled, I don't want thumbnails. Where do I put this real quick? Put on. Fuck it, why not? Hit. All right, I'll be fine. I can delete that later. Okay, so now this is back. Yeah, to end my rant. I'm. It's not even like being demented, and I know you are too. There's a part of you. I really am curious on how NASCAR would react to somebody either being trapped in the car on fire or somebody legit injured, like not Ray Hall, not Brand. What's his name? I just went blank. The guy who wrecked an Indy car 7 years ago on practice day had a piece of the car fly into his thigh and almost bled out on the track. Like if that's NASCAR's, the man is dead. The man is not making it to the hospital. All right, so real quick, let's take a gander at pit data or pit road and where these cars are, because it's going to be huge. And so, and actually, we're gonna highlight. We're gonna do it in pink. How big is this dot? That's not transparent enough. Probably too big, but we get the idea because I do want to highlight people. So, who should be in your list due to pit selection? I think I could just go 100 here, actually. I think Briscoe's starting first, 16th best on 16th average on pit road. But when we look at where they are in terms of Charlotte, had really fast pit stops at Charlotte, which is a very tight track. I am so sorry. This is probably one of the worst live shows ever. But 66 of you guys here, I do appreciate you being here. I swear I will get to the questions and stuff in a bit, but I do want to finish this. Briscoe, third best average at Charlotte, averaged 11.1 on pit road. That was the third best behind Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott at Charlotte at the Coca-Cola 600 last week, just in front of Blaney, Kyle Busch, and McDowell. Briscoe being up there starting first is a really good place to be, in my opinion. Let's look at Dover really quick and where he came out there. I think Briscoe got wrecked or something. He was one of the slowest. He's almost dead last at Dover. Look at Martinsville. Briscoe, a top 15 car on pit road and or top 15 pit speed at Martinsville. At Richmond, he was 22nd. Kind of getting farther and farther. This is back when the teams weren't exactly used to everything, but he was third best at Phoenix. And so I would project today. We're going to change this color. Actually, I'll come back to that. I'm going to write it down. I'll put it back on this thing later. I would argue that I think we will see top 15, not top 15. Briscoe has a chance to be top 5 on pit road today, because he's been doing these times without the first pit stall and on tight pit roads. And when he's not being wrecked or deep in the pack, he's actually able to be there very quick on speed. And so, this is the angle I'm taking of why I think Briscoe is a good play. When we get to Cindric, we'll do the same thing that we just did with Briscoe. So Cindric, 13th average. But when we look back at Charlotte, Austin Cindric is 7th on average times. When we'll look at Darlington as well. I'm not going to do it for Briscoe, but same thing. So Briscoe was 18th average at Charlotte. Cindric is 15th. Martinsville. Cindric was the fastest car on pit road at Martinsville. Richmond. 27th. I'm trying to remember what happened to Richmond to Cindric because he was very slow. And 17th best at Phoenix. But as we look at recent data, Cindric is there as well. And so we'll add him to our interest of the pool. When we get to Reddick, and this is why, and I don't know if you've ever like paid attention to these things. I always look at this stuff just as a glance, but I think it's gonna be huge today. But when you look at the people who qualify for this is why qualifying is such a huge deal, so you can actually get a good pit selection. And we'll look at we look at Blaney. Blaney is where you at? Blaney averaging 13th, but I'm going to assume that is being held down by the early season because Blaney. Charlotte, way down. Where's he at? Blaney is 4th at Charlotte. At Darlington, he is. What the heck? Oh, I didn't even spell Blaney right. Control F-ing, that would be fantastic. I wonder if I could spell things correctly. Near dead last at Dover. I'm assuming he had damage, had a very long pit stop that killed the average. Martinsville, 3rd fastest. Richmond, 7th fastest. All right. Yet again, and this is another reason why my pool is probably so big. I don't think Eric Almirola is going to be up there, but let's see. So Eric Almirola, 17th on average recently. I think I'm going to cut it down to about the last 4 races. Probably Charlotte, Darlington, Dover, Martinsville, and Richmond. So that's 5. Those are probably the ones I'm going to look at. Eric Almirola is 14th Charlotte. Darlington, 19th. Martinsville, 8th. Richmond, 8th. Now it's back-to-back short tracks, and he did have good runs at both those places. Not gonna do him as yellow. Not a priority for me, but a guy that we do need to take a look at. When we look at Reddick, 18th on average, but I guarantee that is being held back by recent races or by the start of the season. However, I'll come back to writing those in a second. Sorry, I guess this is more turned into a boring video versus like picks. We'll get to the picks in a bit. Reddick is. Where the hell is Reddick? For Charlotte. Did he get wrecked early? Why is Reddick not on? Reddick get wrecked last week in the 600? Not on the averages here. I have his pit times, but he is not on the averages. Thank God this is an early video, so everybody can go on 2x. Reddick finished 6th. Why is Reddick not on? Why is he not on here? We have to do it manually. Average, he was 9th. He was 9th at Charlotte. Darlington, he was. It's because I'm spelling his name wrong. He was 10th at Darlington. Martinsville, he was 21st. Richmond, he was 12th. Gotta say, pit data kind of scaring me. Not certainly there has a chance, but these guys have had better days on pit road than Bell and Chastain seem to have really good pit selections here. I know Chastain's going to be one of the fastest guys. Charlotte. Chastain is 11th at Charlotte. Darlington. Chastain is 11th. I'm going to look at Dover real quick for Chastain. Chastain was 3rd at Dover. Martinsville. Chastain was 25th. And Richmond, he was 2nd. Certainly a guy that I want to focus on. And you might be like, Brandon, we get the point. Why are you just not skipping through? We know the teams are gonna, the guys who are in between these things. Well, I want to rank the guys who are here and then compare that to what their averages are and see if it reflects my pool or not, or see if I'm skipping on guys that I shouldn't be skipping on. Bell at Charlotte, 16th. Darlington, 25th. And the reason I'm looking at Darlington as well, not only is that pit road small, but the entry to pit road is very difficult to where you actually have to like pay attention. Like this pit road is going to be extremely difficult. Not even, I mean, sure, yellows will, like under yellow, the times it's good to see where the teams are. But at Darlington and Phoenix specifically, I want to look at how good the drivers were on pit road as well, because it's such a long pit road. The driver holds way more value entering the pits than you might think. He's 7th at Martinsville and 10th at Dover. Look at Cole Custer. I don't think we're going to see much from Custer, but let's see. If Custer has been showing fast speeds, this might be an indication that you might need to have Cole Custer in the lines. 12th at Charlotte. Darlington, 20th. Martinsville, actually Dover again. Dover, 29th. Martinsville, 9th. Richmond, 15th. Like, looking at, I forgot where let me look at where Custer started. Custer is 14th. He's going to be there. I think I'm gonna highlight him to make sure I at least have Custer in a line, because he has the opportunity to have top 10 pit stops today and maintain his running position. I may not have projected correctly. We'll go over that once I'm done here. Denny Hamlin. Let's see. Hamlin, 24th at Charlotte. Darlington, Denny Hamlin, 13th. Martinsville. And Hamlin's crew has let him down a lot this year. 30th at Martinsville, which ironically he won the race and fastest at Martinsville. Very much a mixed bag, if you will, from Hamlin. So maybe pit road hinders Hamlin today. We'll see. We got 2 more guys, then we'll kind of go over this, and then I'll be done wasting your time, and I can actually go back to asking questions or answering questions. Let's look at Truex for Charlotte. Truex was 19th. Darlington, he's 3rd. Martinsville, he's 13th. Richmond, he's 3rd. I think I would, based on this, and I think I was doing that last night when I looked at times, but I didn't really look at it compared to where they are. Not only do I like Martin Truex based on his price, I like him head-to-head versus teammate Denny Hamlin, who are, I believe they're starting very close to each other. As I'm doing a lot, I'm trying to remember where everybody's starting. Yeah, Truex is starting 13th. Hamlin is starting 6th. I think Truex can make up that position on pit road. and be a contender for the race. Looking at this, let's look at Logano. I think Logano is going to be very popular based on practice speed. Let's see where he's at. 22nd at Charlotte. Darlington, he was 4th. Dover, he was 15th. Martinsville, he was 11th. 14th at Richmond. This actually, it might bump him up, but based head to head with other guys, the guys in purple here are the guys that I kind of want to fit in the line just based on pit speed and pit speed alone. So let me go through this and see when I compare my lines. Let me highlight these guys and see who I'm missing from this. So we got Briscoe, we got Blaney. Okay, all right. Cindric. I haven't been high on Cindric, but I think he's certainly a contender there. Eric Almirola starts 8th. I don't think I'm going to make him a priority. I might actually take away some Reddick interest based on this stuff. Clearly, I like Chastain. Bell is going to be up there as well. Custer starts 14th. I don't know how Custer got that spot. That's a really, really good spot. And then we go to Truex. Yeah, so the guys from here that I probably didn't have enough of, or at least enough consideration for, would be Cindric and Custer here, just based on what their possibilities on pit road, based at where they're at and where they are in terms of being stuck in congestion. And we saw yesterday that this is the main area of congestion, towards the end of pit road, because once you get in, like if you have an early pit stop, you're not dealing with congestion, getting in your stall. You run into congestion once you're passing the start finish line, once everybody's getting out of their pit stalls here. And so the guys certainly, I would argue, up here have a clean slate. You're going to have Briscoe, no problem. Kurt Busch probably going to have no problem because LaJoy will probably be a lap down, so that'll end up being an open position. That might actually help out Blaney even more. Same thing with Cindric. Kyle Busch will probably, I think Kyle is going to be hindered today because Haley is going to be probably at the tail end of the lead lap and stuck behind. Like if Haley's on the lead lap and he comes in, sure, Cindric is probably parked in deep, but Kyle is probably already in the box. There's a chance Kyle Busch, actually, I clicked the wrong guy. There's a chance Kyle Busch gets trapped behind Haley today at some point, at some pit stop, and it costs him positions. Might be a similar play with Larson as well. Probably not to the extent of the Haley situation, but you got to remember that Kyle Busch is probably going to be a ninth place driver. Haley's probably going to be running around 22nd. So in terms of where they enter the pits, it might get really, really ugly for Kyle Busch here. Same thing with Larson, although I don't think it'll be to the extent of that. Elliott might run in the same situation, but I'm more concerned with Kyle Busch being trapped and getting run into issues on pit road. But Elliott can also fall in that category, but I don't think it'll be as bad as it might be, though. Zane Smith, if Smith gets lapped, Hamlin is not Hamlin. If Zane Smith gets lapped, I think Elliott is in a prime position to take the lead on pit road because he's going to have nobody behind him, nobody in front of him. I already liked Elliott, but I think that's a reason, like head to head between who can run the congestion here. I think it's Elliott over Kyle Busch. Continuing down, McDowell doesn't matter. Where doesn't matter. Suarez, I don't think it's a net positive or gain anywhere. It'll just be on what the team can do there. Same thing with Dylan. I think despite the fact that the team has been wishy-washy based on what they do on pit road, he has a good chance of having nothing to compete with because Ware's going to be a lap down. Gilliland is going to be so far back on the lead lap that Hamlin is going to get into pit road with nobody in front of him or behind him. I think that evens out like I said, the misses that the pit crew has had. It helps out Bowman a lot too. Helps out Bowman. Byron as well. Balicki's going to be down a lap. He's going to be in front of AJ Allmendinger. Comparing these two guys, let's do that really quick because they are similar to each other. I swear I will look at chat in a second. I am so sorry. I know I probably got a backlog of comments and everybody. How many people we got watching? 78 guys here. Thank you so much for sitting through this. I figured I would lose everybody here doing this. Okay, so this is Elliott versus, or we'll just go Elliott. Elliott, Charlotte. Second fastest on Charlotte. Got the lead. I called it last week. Elliott is going to have extremely fast pit stops. This situation, not Elliott. I don't know why I'm looking at Elliott. I need to look at Bowman and Byron. Bowman, 23rd at Charlotte. Darlington, Bowman was 22nd. Dover, let's see if we find anything here. Bowman was 9th at Dover. Martinsville, Bowman was 19th. This is actually looking worse than I thought it would. 20, that. Going to be free. He may have been trapped on pit road, but the averages for Bowman compared to Byron, I think, are already leaning towards William Byron because we're not seeing very, very fast averages. Let's see, where is Byron at? Byron is 15th, Charlotte. Darlington, 2nd. Dover, 30th. I assume he got in a wreck, had some damage or something that slowed him down. 2nd, for the second time in Martinsville. Richmond, 17th. I think you gotta highlight Byron as somebody who can have a good day on pit road here. I'm gonna do that personally. Where's Byron at? He's starting 23rd. I already had some interest in Byron, but I think that elevates him based on what he could do. And then Truex, as I said, Truex has been fast on pit road. I think Truex will stop short in the box and be fine, but he's gonna deal with AJ being in front of him at times. I think that does hurt him a little bit. And then Logano's gonna be fine. But yeah, and the reason I wanted to do this, I know it took a while, but did this highlight anybody for you guys? And I'm not saying, use this as your only data point, but did this highlight anybody that maybe you didn't consider enough or that you didn't, think that you should at least look at or something? I'm not saying this is the end all be all, but I did this for my own self. And then I turned into doing it with you guys to see, hey, is there anybody here that I may have been higher on or lower on? I think the one thing I learned is that I'm kind of concerned about Kyle Busch today. I think Elliott, I liked Elliott before on what he did, but I almost kind of like Elliott now as a dark horse to win this race based on, what early projections were maybe across the industry or whatnot. Whereas I think Elliott is going to be a top 5 driver today. Same thing between Bowman and Byron. I think Byron has a good chance of gaining positions, like being a real contender. It's not necessarily Hendrick is here or anything, but when you look at where they qualified, I think this at least explains that Byron should get place differential in this race. If anything but that is taken away from this. But yeah, thank you for letting me do this real quick. Let's get back on track and go back to answering questions. I think let me just save this in case I decide to throw it in Discord later or something. But yeah, we're a long way into this, and I do appreciate you guys being here. I'm gonna kind of burn through the chat so I can get caught up on where we're at here. I think this kind of talked about Hamlin. For me personally, I do have Hamlin in some lines today, and I haven't finished. I'm probably gonna do 17 lines today, and then 10 on FanDuel. I'm not exactly sure where. I'm not close enough. I'm not close. I'm not done with enough lines to understand where I'll be at on Hamlin. But I know I will probably have over 6 lines with Hamlin today. Kyle Busch, ironically, what did I have him projected for before we did this? I don't think I was getting too much Kyle Busch. I was liking Truex more. I have Kyle Busch projected for 50.15 points today. I got him finishing. What do I have him finishing at? I got Kyle Busch finishing 5th. I also have Truex finishing 5th. I have Truex outscoring Kyle. I have Kyle, as I said, 50 points. My concern last night was that he doesn't get the lead. Looking at the pit stuff right now, it concerns me that he's not going to get the lead on pit road today. So that's kind of my thoughts on Kyle Busch. I haven't done them all. I like the idea of being very heavy on AJ Allmendinger. I've been doing that a lot this year on FanDuel, to where I do pretty much punt at least one. Usually I do it Todd Yellen, but I think there's an argument to be made with AJ Allmendinger today, just because he's so cheap, going 100% on AJ, and then just playing all the studs. I don't know if I'll do that, but that is certainly my initial intrigue of building. I haven't made FanDuel lines yet, but I know when I was messing with last night and looking at how lines were being constructed, I liked going about that. What is with you guys in Super Draft? Super Draft. The contests are terrible, man. I don't think when was the last time I did Super Draft? I think it was a short track, ironically enough, but this contest is terrible on Super Draft. I actually like the prop system. Dude, 77 people, that's terrible. That's horrible. And Super Draft should be one of it. I try and do it the top 3 highest projected scores, like just in general as a captain. And typically that leans towards a guy who is going to be a secondary lap leader for me. That's typically who I select as my Super Draft captain. So like for today, I think I have Truex. I think I wrote him down as my favorite captain. Because he's starting 13th. I think he can get the lead late. Plus, with the place differential that he has, I think he can outscore people. So typically, that's usually how I look at Super Draft. But man, those contests are terrible. Yeah, but he was a lot nicer than I am. And I do think that, like, when we look at this year's short track races, yet again, I hate going to Racing Reference because it makes it seem like that's all I look at. It's clearly not, but it does help me illustrate things. And can we, like, seriously, come on, Fox, you got to shut up. Nobody's passing in this freaking race, man. The only time you got to pass is the restart and maybe the first time into 3. And if you have the fast car, you can get through the field, but it's going to be very, very slow because the leader is going to pull away. But let's quickly look at the pole sitters for these short track races and the races that you could not pass on this year. Am I missing one? Phoenix, Richmond, Martinsville. I guess where I was missing another one. It's just those 3, I guess it is. All right, so let's take a quick look at the 89 of people here. 89 of y'all here. Thank you for joining me for this. Let me see. Prize Picks just annoying me with my stupid ads, my stupid Google ads made for me. All right, so let's look at starting positions here. If are we gonna sort? See, I'm killing my Google Drive. Like I have so many tabs open. It is insane. I doubt this thing's even gonna load. Ryan Blaney, fantastic, good job. Ryan Blaney starts first, 143 laps, leads early, loses the lead on pit road, not able to get it back from Phoenix because Chase Elliott takes it for a while, and then Briscoe takes over. And these were pit road calls, and Kyle Busch would have taken the lead on pit road, but he had an issue um, uh, in this race and just couldn't get the lead again. But the pole sitter stayed up there. You couldn't pass early. It was then changed on pit road by Elliott and then changed on pit road by Briscoe. When we look at Richmond, now granted, we did have that this race went green, so we had the positions. But when we look specifically at where these guys started, Ryan Blaney led the early portion of the race. Where'd the guy in second go? Byron led later, but it was the guys who were up there. And it was mainly just those two guys, actually. Then you had, Truex led twice because he short pitted under both the green flag pit stops. Christopher Bell did the same thing. Christopher Bell stays out long on, ironically, the pit stops that Truex short pits and then inherits the lead for a little bit are the ones that Bell stays out and leads. And then at Martinsville, your pole sitter Chastain actually gets passed early. Actually, my bad. I saw Chastain there. Chase Elliott. I was like, that is not right. I could have swore Elliott led early. Elliott leads early. William Byron then passes him late, and that's the race on pit road again. So I would lean towards Briscoe leading a good portion of this race. And I have I'm trying to project guys so I can come back and not just see one guy there. I gave Briscoe 48.55 points today. That's more than enough for the optimizer to want to keep putting him in lineups without me absolutely destroying the rankings, point per dollar values across the board. That's 6.2 value from Briscoe. Any optimizer going to want to put him in there based on that. I'm just giving Briscoe 35 laps, led 24 fast laps, and I think I actually got him finishing around 5th, but Briscoe should lead more laps than that pretty easily. And we looked at where he's on a pit road, so it's going to be unless the team just does something stupid, it's going to be very hard for him to lose a ton of positions on pit road over the course of the day. And I think he can maintain that for a good portion of the race. I think you are. I think I'm going to end up with around 30% Briscoe, maybe 40, but I don't necessarily want to go over that case because, and yet again, if Briscoe, maybe I do want to listen to other content today. Maybe I do want to go higher on Briscoe because he's so cheap. Oh, my main worry that I was thinking last night was these freaking tire issues. I kind of want to I'm trying to cap ownership right now at 40, 50% for people just because of how wild this tire issue might end up being today. Hocevar, yeah. That's why I tweeted that out. After I knew he was injured, I was like, dude, Hocevar's trash. Hocevar sucks, man. That sucks. That was killer. I was in the same situation. It was rough. I had a top 15 line when they crossed the line yesterday. It was brutal. I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude, I'm good. And then Hocevar wrecked. So good for him. I'm glad he got his foot crushed. Let's see. What does Bob have up already? Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about the pit stuff. Yeah. Yeah, good old Bob when he's in his scribbling. That's why I went to the real PDF because I saw that Bob put out and I'm like, bro, Bob, we have the numbers there, dude. You don't need to write the guy's name. We're not a bunch of idiots. We know what these numbers are. Yeah, see, man, look, he's the Hat Man. Okay, we would come up with nicknames. He's the Hat Man. He comes up with hats. He's like, I gotta fit in, gotta find my thing, gotta find my thing. I'm just the Hat Man, And then he bitches and cries every time, and he chokes a lot too, man. I'm not saying I'm any better, but honestly, I think he cries more than DiBenedetto. And so Fuck yeah, dude. Thank God. Get him out of this series for at least a month. Maybe career ending. Who knows? Maybe they have to amputate his leg from the knee down. They don't have to worry about it. He's just the hat. Yes, Hinchcliffe. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, AD. I couldn't remember who it was because he was in the booth for the Indy 500 this year. I couldn't remember who it was. Yeah, he it was big cringe. Does it seem like a change of guard to you as these young guns they're just idiots. They're really just morons. I I said in the live show yesterday, it just hit me like the night before when I was doing the projections. I was like, wow, this field is trash. Like this truck field is legit garbage. And I even said that I think there was like 13 real drivers in there. And even some of those guys wrecked each other yesterday. Like Infinger, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen Infinger do. It's crazy. They don't, right? If people say, "Man, I'm crazy," I'm insane. No, NASCAR they don't care about these guys. And Clint Wood, man, be like, Clint would be it. I'm frustrated because you could tell Clint wanted to say it last week, but we did not hear chicken cock live on the air last week. I'm very disappointed by that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Trey. I could tell you're new. I've never even seen your name before. Uh, this is. Oh, you did say that I like this. Never mind. And yeah, and this was something I just thought of like right now. So that's why I did it there. Everybody kind of already shot him down. And Trey, thank you for coming to my rescue, Steven. But everything I says, what do you mean? What is telling you? What is showing you different? I think Eric Jones is really really good play today. I don't know what you're seeing. What does Pearce have him for? He has him for around 15th. Interesting. Because for me, what happens to him in Phoenix? Suarez wrecks Dylan late in the race at Phoenix because Eric Jones 23rd fast at 23rd fast at Phoenix, finishes 25th. Richmond 19th fastest on speed, 23rd late in the race. Martinsville 22nd race speed, finishes 13th. That's actually, I wonder where he got those last positions at Martinsville. What do I got? I know I like Jones. I got him easily hitting value. I got him really high. I think Jones is very much a 12th, 13th place finisher today. And I like where he's at in pricing because it allows me to get to a lot of guys that I want to. Like 7,300 for Jones, I do believe that's underpriced. I know he's starting 21st, but I think he will be there. And yes, this is going to be a short track, but the aero speed down these straightaways is going to be huge. And I do think that does lean towards what Eric Jones has been performing well in. So for me personally, I like Jones. Yeah, I don't know. I can easily see that argument. I won't hate you. Normally, I do put like boring on the title when I think I'm going to do stuff like that. Go to church, all of you. That's so fun. I love you guys. Yeah, Custer has no talent, but let's see. Even I have Custer projected for. I'm giving Custer 17th today. I think that's insane. I really don't think that's crazy. That's 23 points, and that's pretty brutal. Wallace's team is terrible. Bubba Wallace's team they have let him down on pit road like crazy. Like, also, side note, if you ever get bored and you're like watching racing with people, if anytime somebody wrecks, specifically some big name driver like Bubba Wallace, just say under the breath, imagine me, I'm a Bubba Wallace fan. and it'll just change the feeling of a room. I love doing that. And so whenever I watch the races with my buddies in Discord, every time Bubba has an issue on pit road, I'm like, imagine being a Bubba Wallace fan. Briscoe flips over, or Busher flips over. I'm like, imagine being a Busher fan. Suarez, his team has gotten better, and Bubba's team is making a comeback. Like, they're not as bad. I'm giving Bubba 15 today. I might need to bump that up a little bit more. But man, the passing is going to be so difficult here. 35 is a 5.2. How does Bubba perform at these other tracks? Phoenix was slow, but they always start slow here. Oh, man, he does not have good finishes at these short tracks. He has not had speed. And I think that's more the driver. I don't think that's the team. I think 15th for Bubba is fine. I do like Chastain. We don't say Gilly Gang here. That's a derogatory term. We say Todd Squad. But yeah, Gillen has. Yeah, why did everybody play LaJoy last week? What are we doing? Like, I'm so baffled, man. It's like yesterday. Ty Gibbs came in at 38% ownership. What are we doing, people? They should be way higher than that. Like, why was Gillen not played last weekend? I am baffled by that. Absolutely baffled. And it's not because LaJoy wrecked out. But when you look at the speed that Gillen had in the race compared to like what LaJoy would have done on a ceiling day, like, it's night and day. Gillen was the play last weekend. Same thing here. We'll probably have, an overreaction to where, people jump on Todd Gillen again. But I think Gillen has been absolutely killing it. And I have him projected for value today too. I got him for 26 points. I think Gillen is going to be there. And I think even if he isn't, he'll be outscoring guys around him for his price. I will take a 4.9 from Gillen. So this is another thing to where McDowell has fallen. McDowell and Stenhouse has had very similar races this year, very similar seasons, and this is of course what I say is like full of shit. But when we go to McDowell, and in terms of where he is speed wise and where he finishes, I'll do this right. I'll show this because I'm not showing any projections or anything. When we look at McDowell and you look at where his race rating is and where he's at in terms of how fast he is, he's fucking terrible. McDowell is dog shit. He's fucking slow, but he's been finishing well. They're like, oh my God, McDowell has 4 top 10 finishes. Yeah, Bristol Dover. Yeah, Dega. Yeah, Darlington, where everybody wrecked. Yeah, Charlotte, where everybody wrecked. Whereas Stenhouse, you look at where he's finishing. Because these were like bad weekends. Like, you get damaged, you get wrecked. Where he's finishing, where he's running. Sure, he is finishing better than where he's running, but he has had a top 15 car for several weeks now. So with Stenhouse, what am I giving Stenhouse today? I am giving Stenhouse 41 points today. I think it's value. I think it's easy for Stenhouse to hit value. And if you want the sheets, if you want the stuff, if you want to look at the pit data in a sense where I'm not just drawing on something for my own personal interest, if you want to go through anything, you can support me, support Pearce, support the work that we put in the Patreon link in the description below, or you can just, maybe you don't want to pay, $40 a month for an endless amount of data that's easy to read for every single race and for F1. And when you buy our stuff, you also get like, Pearce's MLB sheet that he uses when he does his articles. Like, there's more stuff in there than just, the NASCAR stuff as well that, isn't necessarily advertised. Consider, supporting us on Patreon and stuff. Dude, we're all here for cheap sex. I do apologize. I would happily, see, I don't want to fucking advertise Prize Picks. I don't want to advertise some bullshit, ad. I like Manscaped is a piece of shit product. Like, it's just terrible. I don't understand why Manscaped is that big and why people push it. Like, and they put like I don't understand. I don't understand Manscaped as a company. Like, can you guys like not shave like at all? Are you guys just like you guys have like mangled fingers and stuff? And then also, like their trimmer that they advertise, like it doesn't work in it doesn't work in the shower. So like if you're some dude out there who's like, well, I'm gonna trim my bush with with this trimmer, you're just gonna end up injuring yourself in the shower. Like Manscaped doesn't like that's a terrible company. I would much rather push you at a Dollar Shave Club. On the same note, Tweety Bird, I would much rather just take ads. Like I would happily push like Adam and Eve, Pornhub, whatever the case was. Those are the ads that I want to do because I would be a loyal um I would be an absolute loyal man. These bots are going insane. I would absolutely be a loyal advertiser for any adult company. I would happily do that. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I could do Custer, even with the pit stuff. Maybe one line, but you know that would be the data point I would use to have him in one line. But I don't know about that. I've kind of already talked about the Briscoe stuff. Probably gonna have around 35, probably 35%. I think that's where I'm at there. My 5 plays Briscoe, Blaine, Logano, Chastain, Reddick. In optimal terms, I mean, those are all great lines. In optimal terms, I think only 2 of those guys are going to be optimal. Maybe 3 if it's Briscoe. I think 3 of those guys at max can be optimal. I think if you build line on that, you're going to cash just fine. But in terms of chasing the optimal, I think it's going to be 3 of those guys. Man, there's so many bots here. I'm like, I've already banned this bot like 6 times. They're all new ones. You gotta love it, man. Where am I at? Where am I at? Sorry. Do you mind going a little more in depth on Dylan Kez and Eric Jones? I like Dylan the most. Yeah, we can talk about those guys. So with Austin Dillon, he is starting 29th today. I have him for just under 5x with Austin Dillon, and I have him as a guy in the player pool, but I don't want to just be overweight on him because I think he finished around 18th today. I know he finished well at, was it Martinsville? One of these races. I don't remember which one it was. Where is, I forgot. All this stuff is still crashing. Hold on. Yeah, he finished 10th at Richmond. And that was due to them having a really good day on pit road. But I don't know if I can make Dillon a priority for me just due to the fact that I haven't seen enough speed to feel confident in what he has at the short tracks, you know. Now, granted, he did get wrecked. He got wrecked on the last lap at Phoenix. He had the 11th best car at Phoenix. Martinsville 5th, Richmond 17th, 3rd at Martinsville, 10th at Richmond. This is another issue of me not watching content. So I don't know if Dylan's going to be popular or not. It would depend on line of construction, really. He's easy to get to. That might actually cause Jones to be lower owned. Maybe that's why I'm higher on Jones than I am Dillon. I think Dillon can hit 5x. I think he can value today. It just depends on what his upside is. Like if he finishes 12th, he's optimal. If he finishes 18th, 19th, he's going to be a good play, not optimal. I would lean towards. It's going to be a long day for Dillon. I don't think he's going to be up there early. I think it's going to be stage 3. Dillon has slowly worked his way through the field today. Where did he start at Martinsville? He started 25th at Richmond. Martinsville, he started 23rd. Okay. Dillon, he started, because you got to remember he did get wrecked last lap. He started 13th at Phoenix. I think he can do that. I'm going to have to bump Dillon up. I think Dillon can hit 5x. So looking at these guys, I would probably play. Personally, I like Jones because I think he's going to be lower owned. But it'd be Jones and Dillon head to head with me, and then Keselowski. When we look at Keselowski, I got Keselowski for 19th today. I think Dillon and Jones can both outscore Keselowski, but Keselowski's cheaper. I think if you can get to Dillon or Jones, you should. If you're stuck with Keselowski, I don't think it's nothing to shake a stick at. Today, 105 of you guys here. I do appreciate you. I think that's called I think that's called TV delay, Charles. Probably not doing Bubba today. That's where we're at. I'm glad you like the info. I don't know what that is. I'm disappointed. I will have to do my research after this. I don't fade people based. I mean, really, the thing that I did earlier, it's not that I fade people based on pit stops. I just because you don't fade people based on pit stops. You just go after the people who are faster on pit road. However, with our little interactive thing that we did, we saw that hey, Kyle Busch, while I will still have ownership to Kyle Busch today, pit road issues might be, of higher variance for Kyle Busch today than normal weekends. I think that's the real takeaway, or that's what you learn. Like Kyle Busch still going to be a top 6 driver today, but in terms of getting that lead on pit road, I don't know if that necessarily happens. I think AJ is perfectly in play. Let's see. Happy to finally have you here. I do appreciate that you joined. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. I always hate chasing manufacturers. I always hate that argument. I always like to go into the drivers, and if they happen to be Fords, well, then I'd rather get to that conclusion versus starting with the Fords and then looking at only the Ford drivers. 6,600. How much time do we got? We got 4 hours, 5 hours until the race. Under 6,600. I like AJ. I love Justin Haley. Kligerman is a variable that I don't know what to do with. I think he hits value, though. Not playing McDowell, as I've done nearly every week this year. I can't play McDowell. Not playing Dillon. I don't know what to think about Zane Smith. Burton. Let's look at Burton real quick. Because Burton is a man that has not shown speed. Shown the speed. Like, if you want, there's not going to be a lot of passing today, but people are going to be passing Harrison Burton. That's just how it's going to be. I like Gillen. So, okay, under 6,600, I like AJ. I like Haley. Those would be the two priorities. I then like Gillen. After that, it would be Smith and Kligerman in that. Let's see what else we got. I need to move this again. I hate looking left. I try and look at the camera more. Yeah, I'll probably be under. I'll probably be really under. I don't think I'll end up playing Zane Smith just because it's a huge learning curve for him. I know, man. I wish they would. Like, look, if you want to just have my link, come on, Naked HD. Oh, that's what you're referring to. I'm an idiot. I swear to God. I have Tweety. I have the brain the size of a peanut. If they would just sponsor me, I would happily, just shove their shit in your face. Hey, they're back. Thank you for showing up, Clutch. We'll probably be ending up pretty soon, or we'll probably be ending it pretty soon. So it's not necessarily starting to rant. I was taking advantage of it because I'd never seen it before. It was a situation where NASCAR moved the starting um, ahead earlier, and I was like, of course, like you can't blame me. I'm disappointed that other people didn't do it as much. When we look at the big GPP, only 380 lines were nulled, and we have to assume that some of those are people who didn't do lines, and so a very small part of people um, adjusted lines post race, which I don't blame myself. I don't blame anybody for doing that. I think that it's part of the game. It was an opportunity there, and jokes on you, DraftKings. I pulled AJ from those lines, so you saved me money. Um, I only got to 4 because I was only doing 4 lines to begin with for Xfinity. And when I saw 1, it wasn't filling. 2, it was starting later. I threw in a bunch of lines. I threw in 4 more lines in contest, and so really, it didn't affect me at all. Really. Um, this is a really good question. When we look at Briscoe and we look at the ability, we look at what this car offers, and that's why I think you need to maybe consider having some Cindric as well. Just due to the fact that you can't pass. The leader has the advantage, and unless Briscoe absolutely chokes and lose, which you kind it is really almost very similar to Phoenix. Like Briscoe did not have the faster car, but you just could not get past Briscoe. You couldn't pass the guy late in that race. Same thing here is like I don't think you can pass the leader today. I think you can make passes in the field, but once that leader's by himself and it's just you and him, I don't think you can pass the leader. Um, and his speeds are good. I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to in that because his speeds are. Oh, you're. I'm an idiot. You're talking about Elliott. You're talking about Hendrick. um, that's just how they unloaded. It's a long race. That's why, like Byron didn't have the bestest car at Martinsville. Elliott is not showing up with the best car at practice, but they're getting the leads. They're getting the lead here, or they're getting the lead at these races. Um, so that's where I'm at. I like Chastain the most here. I'd probably go Chastain, Byron, Elliott, Bell. Mm. Yeah, Penske. I mean, Penske. This ownership should be low across the board. There shouldn't be anybody that just carries astronomical ownership today, which I think that's why it's a fun thing to build lines with. Very similar to Martinsville, very similar to Richmond this year, to where this race can go a lot of different ways, and we don't necessarily have the insight of how it's going to play out. Late in stage 3, I think the best we can do is um, plan out stage 1. Yeah, it was interesting. However, the vocal minority on Twitter being like, "DK, you can't do this. I'll see you in court. Like this is bullshit." They're a bunch of idiots. If anything, those people should just invest the money, uh, invest money in the price of a bullet, and just get rid of themselves, so we don't have to deal with idiots like that. I think it will too. I really do. Like this race is going to be it's going to be terrible as a viewing experience, terrible. But those have been my best races this year. So I am rooting for an absolute snore fest today. It's going to be yeah. I mean, I guess I could just end the show there. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. Race we won on pit road and restarts. I really do believe that's the main reason of where we want to go. Real quick, because I know I took forever. My player pool is extremely big, but gun to my head, guys that I really like are what is it? Gun to my head, guys that I really like: Briscoe, Hamlin, Logano, Chastain, Truex, Chase Elliott, Harvick, Jones, Gillen, Byron, Haley, Dylan, Stenhouse, AJ, and Parker. Those would be, gun to my head, the guys that I actually do like today. That's another thing. If people stay out, it's gonna be a freaking mess. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for being here, Jeff. I do appreciate it. I think it'll be a bad rate. Yeah, it's gonna be a very, very bad race to watch. I'm sure everybody will bitch and moan about it later. Jeff Gluck's poll will get probably like 10% yes, and then he'll go on and ask the stupid questions of drivers. Been here an hour and 20 minutes. I do appreciate you guys spending your morning with me. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for getting to this point. If you're here now, thank you for getting to this point. And I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys next week. And thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps you out in some form or fashion. So thank you for being here.